When it comes to the Olympic lifts and specifically the snatch and a clean, a question that I get a lot is, how do I learn to get under the bar faster, or how do I keep my feet from jumping out so wide, or something that's going on in the reception of those lifts. And we need to make sure that that the bottom position of your squat is good, or at least heading in the right direction. A couple things to be aware of. I recommend that you do these warm-ups without your shoes on. That's what you're going to see in these demo videos, and I'm doing that for a couple reasons. One, I can learn a more stable, solid foot to transfer into my squats and my Olympic lifts once I put those weightlifting shoes on. But also I like the exaggeration part of it. Even though we're elevating our heels and stuff like that, it's still going to make your squats feel so much easier. The receiving position of your snatch and your clean feels so much easier and better once you put those weightlifting shoes on. So the first thing is to get a mobility assessment, okay? Understand where your limitations are, and in combination with working on that over time, I've got 3 drills that you can use, okay? Number 1 is we're gonna elevate your heels, okay? So anytime you elevate your heels, it's just like when you're in a weightlifting shoe. It makes your squat easier. It makes your Olympic lifts a little bit more solid. So we're gonna use that elevation to help you create some awareness of a deeper, better position. We're also going to assist that further by holding a plate out front. You're going to extend your arms with a light plate, usually a 10-pound or a 15-pound bumper plate, and sink down to your lowest position, okay? When you're elevating your heels with this extended arm plate squat, what I want you to make sure of is that not too much of your foot is on the plate, only an inch or two, just on the very edge there. We don't want to take away from the elevation or the solidity of that. Also, with elevated heels, and especially with the combination of having a plate out front, it's really easy to set back too far, to use that elevation just to set back into it. I want you to use that elevation to be further forward on your ankle, to have a greater angle in your shin, and also further forward with those hips. Again, we're trying to create as upright of a position as we possibly can, and reinforce that and learn that with this elevation. Once again, as we progress down in elevation and we get to the level surface, we want to try to mimic that same thing. Again, not setting back too far, staying forward on your ankle and with your lower body as much as you possibly can. With this specific drill, you want to start with elevation and stay there as long as you need to, but also think in terms of progressing down off of that elevation over time. There are some things that we need to look out for. We're trying to work on our bottom position with quality, so we want to make sure that your feet aren't too wide. If your feet are really wide and really turned out, that's not going to really be the best position that you want to teach your body to receive in, and that's exactly what you're doing if you're performing all your squats that way. It also sets you up for your knees to be out of alignment with your toes, so maybe that will direct your knees inside of your feet, inside of your toes, and again, we want a stronger, more supportive position than that in the bottom, and to be able to stand up with. So let's at least work towards having your feet a little bit more up underneath your body, shoulder width apart or slightly outside of that, with your feet straight or slightly turned out. Now within these warm-ups, I always like to think in terms of exaggerating. So certainly don't be afraid to put your feet in a little bit more of a narrow and straighter foot position than you're going to use on your weighted squats. Okay, that's going to just help your overall mobility and help that feel better, and help that be a little bit easier once you go. Okay. The second drill that we're going to use is what I call a support squat. So we're going to use a rig or some sort of solid upright that you can get close to, support yourself with as much as you need to, and then as you're going down, and then ultimately use that rig, use that solid upright to pull your hips as far forward as you can. If you think about what we want in the reception of a snatch and a clean, we want your torso to be as upright as possible. If it's any further forward than it can be, or if it's really far forward, you're not going to be able to support the weight in your front rack as well as you'd like. You're not going to be able to support that weight overhead as well as you like. So we're going to use this to pull those hips forward, and that's going to allow your torso to be as upright as possible. Okay, once again, we want the feet to be in a solid position. We don't want them to be really wide and really turned out. We also want your body to be around about a foot away from this upright, so you can perform the drill in the specific way that we want. One of the things that a lot of athletes do on this is they'll get too close to it, and or they'll just they'll keep their hands too high and they'll just lean back. I'm not looking for you to lean back and get to a deep position. I'm looking for your torso and your body to stay on top, to stay centered and on top of your legs. All right, so make sure, again, we're about a foot away from the upright. Your feet are more up underneath your body with at least a relatively straight foot. You're reaching as low as you can, really with your hands only a couple inches from the ground, and aggressively pulling your hips forward. Okay, what I want you to be aware of when you find this position is that you're sitting down on your end ranges, that your quads aren't engaged, so that will indicate that you're all the way down, and also that you've got some pressure in the bottom of your stomach to learn that the appropriate tension that you need there in your core. Okay, the last thing that I want you to do to help your bottom position and help prepare is get some time in this bottom position with some load, with more and more load over time, with the specific squats that you're going to be performing within the snatch and the clean. That means overhead squats and front squats. All right, so what I like to tell people is, if you're doing a front squat workout, for example, then, and even a back squat workout, then on half of your warm-up reps, let's simply pause in the bottom of that squat for 5 to 10 seconds. All right, and that will over time allow you to accumulate a good amount of reps, a good amount of time in that bottom position with weight, and that will just help you support all the other work that you're doing with the other drills that I gave you, and with hopefully the mobility drills that you're working on as well. Also understand, with all of these exercises, all these drills that we're performing, whether they're the support squat, the extended arm plate squat, or the weighted squats that I'm recommending, we're working on getting as deep as you possibly can. So yes, we want quality there, but a big part of you learning quality in your lowest position is actually getting there. Okay, so make sure that you're going as low as you can, and working on cleaning those positions up, learning solidity with these specific drills. And that's what these specific drills are for. They are assisted squat variations with the plate out front, with your heels elevated, with you having that support. It's going to help you find that quality.